Close, but no cigar. The Denver Nuggets stormed back down 20, just like they did versus the New Orleans Pelicans just a few games ago. But unfortunately, they weren't able to come all the way back because they just missed one too many shots down the stretch, and you really felt the absence of Jamal Murray. Let's tap into it, y'all. Your Denver Nuggets lose to the New Orleans Pelicans in a game that honestly was extremely, extremely close down the stretch of the fourth quarter. Just not enough baskets were able to go in. The Denver Nuggets end up losing 110 to 115 in one of the best games of the season. The Denver Nuggets, let me say, best games of the season in terms of not having Jamal Murray, having to respond to tremendous adversity, and having players step up from places that you might not have expected. So on the Pelican side, Zion ends up with 26 points, 4 rebounds, and 6 assists, plus 21 in the game. Jonas Valanciunas, 22, 8, and 3. And then Brandon Ingram, 21, 3, and 8. And Zion with a plus 21. Really good game from him as well. Now, the Denver Nuggets, Nikola Jokic had a never before seen NBA stat line. Quite literally, no one has ever had this game before in the history of the league. Nikola Jokic, 26 points in 36 minutes, 16 rebounds, 18 assists, 10 of 20 from the field. He was 5 of 5 from the free throw line, 1 of 8 from 3 again, 1 block. He was a plus 5 in the game. They lost by 5. In the minutes that he was not on the court, the Nuggets lost significantly. They lost by 10 when Zeke Naji was on the court today. So again, a plus 15 net swing for Nikola Jokic today. Joker was dominant. Joker was continuing. A shout out to my dog, Hoop Venue. Good to see you, brother. Joker had a great freaking game, man. But, I think some of this was the New Orleans Pelicans started off the game with 36 points in the first quarter. They just came out gunning. And the Nuggets just really weren't able to slow the game down until about 6 minutes left in the third quarter. They got the lead up, like I said, to a 20-point lead. But then the Nuggets kept fighting, and they got the lead down to 86 to 95. And Najee Marshall had 3 3-pointers in that third quarter, 2 of them that were just really highly contested, quick trigger pulls. And that ended up being the difference in the game, those 3 3-pointers. So, again, some things go your way. Things happen differently. The Nuggets pull out the win. Christian Braun tonight off the bench, 25 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists. Best game of the year by far. 11 of 19 from the field, 3 of 5 from 3. He was a plus 3 tonight off the bench. Just a stupendous game from him. Peyton Watson, 3 and 1 tonight. He was a -2. Jalen Pickett, 1 rebound, 1 assist. But he was a plus 9 in the minutes. He played next to the starters and actually played really well within his role. Again, Julian Strawther, -16. Zeke Naji, -10. These are the bench minutes that really hurt today. The Nuggets were 10 of 40 from the three-point line today. 10 of 40. Almost half their shots. They took 96 shots, almost half their shots from the three-point line. That's probably the most they've shot this year, if I remember correctly. The Nuggets were 6 of 12 from the free throw line. Not good enough. They were 50%. The Pelicans were 52% from the free throw line. The Pelicans shot 52% from 3, and they won by 5. 12 of 23, and the Pelicans shot 52% from the field. So the Pelicans made 5 more free throws, 2 more three-pointers, and 1 less basket. And the Pelicans only had 9 turnovers to the Nuggets, 13. The Nuggets had 37 assists to the Pelicans, 33. The Nuggets had 51 rebounds and 11 offensive rebounds to the Pelicans, 39, and 4 offensive rebounds. 20 fouls for the Nuggets. Just a really, really, really sloppy game in some pots today. But what was interesting is that Jamal Murray not being there ended up being the deciding factor, especially down the stretch of the game. They went with a lineup of KCP, Christian Braun, Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., and typically that's good enough. Because typically Joker can get in and out of his actions and get the ball, but it was just a little bit funky. Got a little contested there towards the end of the game, and they just weren't able to get enough rhythm on some of these shots. They got the ball. They got 3 separate three-point attempts, and Aaron Gordon tonight had 14, 8, and 2. He was 7 of 14 from the field, but he was 0 of 4 from 3 and 0 of 3 from the free throw line. Those 3 free throws ended up costing them a lot because they could have been tied with the basketball with 14 seconds left and tried to score. But AG just couldn't hit his free throws, and that's just unacceptable. Shooting 50% from the free throw line is not good enough. It doesn't matter who you are, and especially when you're the 4th or 3rd best player on the team. 14, 8, and 2 for AG. KCP, 8, 1, and 8 assists, 3 of 7 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3, 2 blocks, and a steal tonight. And he was a +4. Reggie Jackson, 14, 2, and 3 on 6 of 12 and 2 of 7 from 3. He was a -4. Michael Porter Jr. had 18 points and 11 rebounds. He was 8 of 14 and 2 of 6 from the field. He was a -15 today, but he was a -15 because of that bench stagger, especially in the first half. And he was in there when Joker wasn't in there as well. Porter is one of the best plus-minus leaders on the team. I think he was second in the NBA playoffs last year as well. So Porter typically grades out really well when he's on the court because he's helping to win those minutes. But the issue is that today with the bench unit, man, they just were getting capsized. They just quite literally could not get a rhythm going. And so really, really struggled. Now at the end of the third quarter, they get the lead down to or top of the fourth, they get the lead down to 5. Joker comes in the game. And again, they just didn't have enough momentum to be able to put them back over the top today. But again, man, the team played really hard. Again, shout out to the Pelicans. Like I said, Herb Jones, 8, 5, and 4. He was a -2. Jonas, 28 and 22 and 8. He was a -8. And then Daniels, 10, 8, and 7 on 4, 6 from the field. He was a +12. Jordan Hawkins off the bench was a -3. Matt Ryan, -8. Again, just some really small things. That was the difference in the game today. And just quite simply, the Nuggets are trying to develop more rhythm with their bench unit. And this is why I'm not really tripping. And again, obviously, you don't want to lose the game. But the thing is, the Nuggets are simply in this moment now where they're trying to put together the best bench rotation and get their young guns bought in and believing in their role within the system. Right now, they are having a lot of issues in terms of finding out what they're supposed to be doing. But again, that's okay. This is game 12 of the season. There's 70 games left. So you want them to continue to iron these things out because the Nuggets have a really daunting road schedule. They got 4 more road games before they come back home. They got Cleveland on the first night of a back-to-back and then Detroit. Traveling from Cleveland, Ohio to Detroit, Michigan, and then they play Orlando 2 days later, and then they play Houston for another in-season tournament game. Now the Nuggets are now 2-1 in the in-season tournament, and so let's see here, in-season tournament standings. The Denver Nuggets dropped to 2-1 in the in-season tournament. So that game versus the Houston Rockets is going to be really big. That's going to decide probably who makes it out of the group. Let's see here. So, yeah, the Nuggets are now tied. Yeah, they're tied with they're 2-1. The Pelicans are a +23. Nuggets is a +9. So, yeah, it's going to be kind of funky getting out of this group. So it could end up being the Pelicans or the Rockets, depending on how next week goes versus the Rockets. So, and then if the Rockets win, then you'll have 3 teams at 2-1. So again, some really interesting things to find out how this in-season tournament is supposed to play out. But again, Nuggets should come up short tonight. Nikola Jokic, 26 points, 18 assists, and 16 rebounds. Again, a +5. Joker, 1 of 8 from 3. He's had a lot of 1 of 8s, 2 of 6s, 1 of 7s from 3. He's just firing them up. You can tell he's trying to get his rhythm and stuff back again. But again, I've talked about this. Early season is just about ironing out a lot of these little kinks in your armor. And this is a part of the process for Joker, is getting there and making sure that he can able to hit these shots when they matter most once the season comes. So again, obviously frustrating. Don't want to see this loss, but again, without Jamal Murray tonight, the team just didn't have enough execution down the stretch. And the defense wasn't good enough tonight for a defense that's been really good this year there. But again, the Nuggets only gave up a 112.7 offensive rating. They started the game off giving up 143 offensive rating. The Nuggets had a 110 offensive rating themselves. So, again, it's not what you want to see from the team. But the team, by and large, has been dominant throughout the entire season. And so sometimes you're going to have these lapses where you're not going to be able to perform up to expectation, and you're going to have these games where the bench or just where even the starters just kind of look out of sync, and it's not as crisp and not as smooth as what you would like to see from them. The Nuggets shot 26 of 32 at the rim. Pelicans shot 22 of 34. Nuggets were 81% at the rim today. Half-court offense, the Nuggets had the best half-court offense on the game today. The Pelicans had the better fast break offense on limited opportunities. So again, the Nuggets half-court defense is still just piling in this year. Again, frustrating for sure. Nuggets dropped to 9-3. Jokic would have never before seen 26, 16, and 18 stat line. And so we'll see, y'all. We'll be back. The Nuggets will bounce back. The team will bounce back. They got another game coming up on Sunday. We'll game. Subscribe, hit the like button on the way to 10,000 subscribers, y'all. I will see y'all on the next time.